I think that everybody has situations in life where we learn to trust ourselves and where we learn not to trust ourselves. And ultimately, we want to be operating from a place where we do have that deep trust, where we can hear our inner voice or our intuition, and that's able to guide us so that we can hear a clear no, we can hear a clear yes, we can follow our curiosity and just be really solidly trusting of how we're going to get ourselves through that experience, right? But I've noticed that for myself, because of those situations where I, for whatever reason, was doubting my intuition, or even if I was hearing my inner voice, I logically was trying to put a little bit of a swing on it. Like, okay, well, yeah, I can hear that that's a no, but I've heard this, or I have this story running, or I have this belief operating that instead is going to have me choose something that goes against my clear knowing. And in those situations, what has happened is that I have had assaults or breaches of my own dignity and power and what's the word that I'm looking for? Autonomy. And so in those situations, we kind of create this complex, right? Where we take this aspect of our personality and we put it outside of ourselves and we're like, this thing that I can look at. And we want to be able to hold it in view so that we can look at this thing and we can call it a threat and we can say that this is not me. This is something else that's not me, and it's something that could potentially hurt me. When really, if we were to integrate that, that would look really different. So instead of saying this thing happened to me and it was this outside thing and there's nothing that I can do about it and I'm completely powerless, and you keep yourself in that victim place, right? And sometimes that can get pretty thick because not only do you keep yourself in a victim place because you want to protect yourself from this thing, this outside thing, but you also maybe start to form an identity around that because it offers you some amount of belonging, like to a group. Like maybe you're a victim of domestic violence, and so are these other people who now you have a group with, and you need that community to heal. So you want to keep that identity intact. But you don't have to leave the community to shift your perspective and be able to hold this happened to me, and also I am in my power right now and I always have been. And there's always a choice. I've always had a choice in every single moment, but that choice maybe has not always been how I can influence the manifestation of the world around me from the level of the world around me. What I mean is, so let's say that I'm walking down the street and I get struck by lightning. Well, not really much that I could do about that. Maybe I could go, oh, I shouldn't have been outside, or I should have been wearing my lightning proof clothing, or whatever. But ultimately, that's kind of just something that happened to me. And we can talk about, like, did this happen for a reason? Can we assign meaning to this? Can we make this into medicine? Can we alchemize this experience, right? And all of that is really good work, and it's positive, just beautiful, soul building work. And I teach all of that work in my one-to-one sessions and coaching and my frequency medicine apprenticeship and all of that. There are containers for that. But with that said, there's also this opportunity that we have to just place that experience, first and foremost, before doing any work with it. And there's a way that we can place that experience where we don't put ourselves into a mode of powerlessness and victimhood. And all that we have to do in order to do that is cultivate this ability to have a fundamental acceptance of our life circumstances. And it's easy to say that, but it's actually taken me over 10 years of really deep listening and soul work and embodiment work and psychic work and energy work to get to the point where I'm really solidly able to teach that with other people. And I'd say it's probably been almost 13 years now since I started to do that work, but with about the first 10 years being where I really needed to just be doing that for myself within my own container to learn how to teach it. So It's work, right? But it's the work that life leads us to through more and more and more experiences. And if you're in that position of feeling like you're a victim still, then you're going to continue to have these experiences that show up, and you say, that's that, and it's out there, and it could potentially hurt me. And you're going to keep yourself in a place of never feeling safe. And you'll see that continue to manifest in your circumstances, and it might manifest like instability. You might have energy healers tell you that you need to be working on your root chakra, or that you need to, find a way to have more inner peace or something like that, so that you can work with that fear. But really, what that means is that you're holding yourself in a place of victim. And so ultimately, being in a position of victim is just being exercised. It's being away from your true self. And all that you have to do, all of these different skills in the toolbox, all that you have to do is come back to remembering who you are. That's what all these tools are trying to show you. So you might find that you connect with yoga, or that you connect with dance, or that for you it's this type of meditation, or that type of breathing, or whatever, or being in nature. It doesn't matter what it is. It'll be different for everybody. But the point is that it's bringing you into yourself. It's cultivating that remembering within you, so that you can remember that you're trustworthy. And so you might have this show up in the way of that you don't trust other people, or you don't trust circumstances, or that you're always kind of having a negative attitude about things, like, oh, well, of course that happened, because that stuff always happens to me. Or I do want to get close to this person, but I'm only going to get that close because I've been hurt before, and I know what this person, this type of person or whatever, can do, and so I'm not gonna, So there's this building of protection. You build protection around yourself, and you end up with all these walls, but those walls don't protect you in the way that you're looking for. What you really want is to be light, to be free, and to be guided by simply existing in your heart space and allowing that to point you in whatever direction and draw you into your yeses, because you know what your no's feel like. You've got this knowing within you. You do. I'm telling you, you do right now. It's not something that's in the future. This is here. And so whatever you can do now and in any moment to just come into that center is going to allow you to actually feel that and hear that. That's why I make music that helps people do this, that soothes the nervous system and then retrains the inner voice, so that you can actually start to hear yourself again instead of all these stories. Because we have to shift these beliefs, we have to shift these thoughts that say all these things to us about that threat that's out there. Because we really know, when we remember, that everything that looks like it's out there is in here. And we can work from in here in every moment. And that is where our power is. So that completely removes you from that position of victimhood. When you remember your soul, when you remember yourself with the big S, when you remember that you are being lived by life with the big L, right? Whatever you want to call your higher power, this is happening now and all the time through you, this living. So you're guided all the time to the natural harmony and balance and synchronicity that life offers. So if you feel like there's an obstacle or there's something in the way, you don't have to work with that obstacle as if it's something that's outside of you. You need to come in to the self so that you can hear. And that's where you recultivate that deep trust within yourself. And then you trust others again, and you trust life circumstances, and you feel safe again. And then you're creating from that place, so everything around you starts to change. Everything that maybe before felt like it was mirroring something back to you that was really out of balance, or it was disharmonic, is going to change when you start to tune your own inner world, tune your frequencies, so that you're an orchestra that's playing in harmony again. You want everything to be in the same key, right? Or it's going to sound super weird. But you might not be able to hear that right now. If you're playing one of your inner instruments out of tune, you might not be able to hear that, because you have to cultivate this skill of deep listening, of coming back home, of remembering. So I teach tools on how to do that, and also do energy work to just clear the space and get rid of the old thought structures and beliefs and like tangly mental energy that's in the way. You can find all of that information with the link in my bio. I've got multiple programs that you can sign up for, or one-to-one sessions, or just other resources like my music, which is all free on all streaming platforms. You can look up Between by Mama Rose. That's a great place to start. Or just shoot me a message if you want to find a way to work with me on any of these things. And in the meantime, I'm going to be continuing to create these free videos and this content that's just widely available because this matters to me. I went through things, now I can teach things, and that gives a purpose and a medicinal aspect to my experiences. So I appreciate you being here listening, and I appreciate that you're here existing, and I'm excited for you because I know that your future self is already celebrating your successes and your wins and everything beautiful that you have coming. Okay, Mama Rose, bye.